Right behind him, number 5, another swappy from the winter shenanigans. It is Hayden himself. Look at Hayden. There's Hayden looking at the inside of Hodgson. The two of them battling away on Ducatis. One on the Rev A Red Bull one on the INS one. End of lap one then. Chris Walker has eased away at the front from the Rev A Red Bull Ducati of number 3, John Reynolds, followed by the pole sitter, Steve Hislop.
Well, Chris Walker looks at home on that Suzuki after the winter testing, doesn't he? Don't forget it's his first season on the Suzuki, and they're stretching him out at the front.
Already at Druids now on lap 2. It's Walker down to the modified bit of track at the bottom of the hill. Look at Hislop taking a look at the inside of Reynolds. You'll need to squeeze under him if you can. So up towards McLean's we go, staying with the leader, Walker from Reynolds, from Hislop, but keeping a watching brief behind them is that menace. Is it going to be Hayden or is it going to be Hodgson? It's still Hodgson. Hodgson's still there on the INS Ducati.
Great to see.
Oh, you saw that then. A big wobble there. That was getting the power down from John Reynolds. Reynolds getting the rear end lit up. Could that give Hislop the chance to get up the inside on the brakes in the paddock? No. No, still it is Chris Stalker Walker on the Suzuki, leading this race and looking very, very good in his first outing.
Second and third men tripping each other up a bit as well. This could give Walker the advantage. Having said that, they telescope right together at Druids into the recently modified bottom bend. They've used for that now. They've had a season on it. I'll tell you what though, Keith, great to see Steve Hislop, number 8, on the Virgin Mobile Yamaha, looking like a proper superbike rider again,
he
isn't
looked brilliant out in the Spanish test. He was the fastest in Spanish tests on that bike, and Rob Mackers, really, what a difference a year make. Remember when that R7 came out last year? Big problems for them. It didn't work for them. No such problem this year, that's for sure. He's come out of the box shouting and screaming. Look at Walker, lighting the rear end of that bike up, out of clearaways, onto the front straight now. Paddock Hill bend, down 3 gears. You saw him stamp down through the gears. They're on the brakes. Walker leads, but closing in is Reynolds. I've called him the Gary Lineker of racing. That's exactly what he is. He is a tough guy on the track, but very mild-mannered indeed off it.
And he hasn't let that fool you. He hasn't sued you either, has he? He took that one. Oh, and there again, Walker getting silent as his tyre's gone. He's been closed down.
No,
Hodgson in fourth, closing up.
I don't think so yet. Number 69 racing from the back of the grid, 26th place. He qualified, Steve Marks that is, but back at the front it is the second qualifier, Chris Walker. I doubt if tyres are coming into this just yet in this race. Right behind him, John Reynolds on the Ducati, chasing the Suzuki. Right behind him, the Yamaha of Steve Hislop still.
Great contrast in styles. Walker all action, that bike twitching all over the shop, and John Reynolds that much smoother. And still Stevie Hislop in third place, right in their real tracks, right there.
Still Hodgson in fourth place on bike number 4, the other INS Ducati. We can't see Mackenzie, his teammate, his new teammate this year, of course. And then it's Hayden at the back in 5th place at the moment. So we're at Druids.
Well, having said that John Reynolds looks smoother than Walker, Chris, I must say he appears to have that bike on the move just as much. Although that Suzuki, I still maintain, looks twitchier.
I think that's more down to the riders than the bikes at the moment here at the Indy circuit. Chris Walker's put in a whole load of effort in. There he is then, still leading on the national tyre Suzuki and still being chased hard by Reynolds and Hislop. Now then, what about Hislop? Is he going to make a pass? This is where John Reynolds has been having a whole load of trouble putting the traction down. And again, the Yamaha man gets round the outside. That's a long way round. That's a hard way to go. He'll end up on the grass if he gets pushed out too far. Oh, well, they nearly come together. Elbow bashing from Reynolds and Hizzy. Yeah. And Hizzy wipes the Rev A Bull Ducati team man's nose as he goes down Paddock Hill bend. So the Red Bull man there, John Reynolds, found himself outclassed round the outside by Steve Hislop. Didn't think I'd ever be saying that.
Out-toughed as well, I think, Keith. Hizzy, when he's on the case, is a world-class rider. There's Hodgson going through. Big gap back to the chasers. And we've got our first Works Bikes casualty of the season. Peter Goddard's parked his Kawasaki, Keith.
Up and onto clearways. It's Chris Walker then, still leading, but under severe pressure now, I feel. Walker has led this right from the start. He got an absolute flying start there, still getting great drive out of clearways. Sits up on a motorcycle, trying to stop that rear wheel from spinning. On the short straight then of the Indy circuit here at Brands Hatch, towards Paddock Hill bend. Still Chris Walker there. Still it is Hislop, though, that's back, applying the pressure on bike number 8, the Virgin Yamaha. Then behind him, John Reynolds, up into the braking area at Druids Corner.
Here's an indication of the pace, Keith. The man in 5th place. There he is, James Hayden. Now up on the back of Hodgson's wheel. There he is, 5th place man, the other Red Bull bike. He's set the fastest lap of the race so far. New lap record for James Hayden.
Hayden on the pace, has been all weekend. In fact, we can expect a lot more of that as the season goes on. I can see lap records going out of the window throughout the 12 rounds of this Superbike series. Walker, Hislop, Then it is Reynolds.
Ooh.
Watching brief from Reynolds. Oh, and again, John Reynolds just gets a well, those Ducatis have got so much grunt in comparison with the two four-cylinder bikes in front of him. Maybe just that little leap in second gear there's making the rear end of the bike spin. Reynolds has got a lot of grunt low down, whereas the four-cylinder bikes, you find the power a little further up in the rev range.
You answered my question, but I had hardly asked as I gasped my breath as they dive into Druids. Oh, look at fourth and fifth place.
Yes, Hayden is upon Hodgson, down towards bottom end now it is. Hodgson still in fourth place, but only just from Hayden there in fifth place. We're looking back up towards Druids. There's battles all the way around this circuit at the moment.
Sixth place, a lonely Neil Mackenzie on the other INS Duke.
Well, he had his first ride in the wet on that bike, of course, yesterday, so I should think he's fairly happy. He's really a learning curve that's almost ballistic for Mackenzie. The yellow flag, so we've got something either happening at Clearways or on to Paddock Hill Bend. We'll have to wait and see, but it's not going to stop Hizzy, the Scotsman, is reapplying pressure to Chris Walker. Well, Hizzy was the pole man, remember. He's been quick all year long in testing so far.
That time he set in Cartagena was eye-watering, wasn't it?
Indeed it was. It was something like 7/10 of a second quicker than anybody else. Remember, Chris Walker, this is the first time he's raced this Suzuki. Oh, and it looks like Hodgson having to go back at Hayden. Hayden's in front of Hodgson now for that fourth place at the moment. That's down at bottom bend. We're now moving up towards Clearways again. Still Hizzy applying the pressure. Chris Walker, well, he's never going to be fazed by any pressure as he puts himself under it.
Last time around, Hizzy was winding, have a go at him, but the yellow flags stopped his charge, I am sure. They're in now, so maybe Hizzy, no, he's not near enough, is he, this time, Keith?
Oh, well, the Yamaha looks pretty quick, but again, it's Walker that manages to get the pressure on down through the gearbox, and look at that. Hizzy on the brakes. He has got a beautiful style, Steve Hislop. I can watch him. Well, I can go to sleep to watching him, let's put it that way. It's just wonderful the way he does it with a motorcycle. And remember, he's the man that's riding a bike that he knows so very well, whereas Stalker is finding the parameters of that Suzuki each and every lap that he goes.
And, of course, the man in third place at the moment, John Reynolds, he's been riding that Duke for a few years now. He knows that as well. His style, Keith, must come from all those laps around the Isle of Man.
Well, maybe. He's just a smooth rider. So, in comparison to Chris Walker, of course, who looks
Reynolds
like a man possessed. Here. Well, John Reynolds just here. He's had that bike spinning every time. Out of Clearways corner, then onto the front straight now as they look for the pit boards. To the left of your pitch, to the right of us. There he is, Walker down through the gearbox, sideways on, almost backs it into Paddock Bend. He won't be doing that too often, that's for sure, without saving it.
And that bend is frightening, that's frightening as well.
Committed, out on the white line, and again, sideways on the brakes. Well, Chris Walker doing everything he can to keep that Suzuki the national tires. Oh, and a big black line, a big darky laid down out of Druids there. Dear me, Chris Walker is desperate to fight off Hislop.
And Hodgson is managing to fight off Hayden now. He's hanging on to that fourth place. And Reynolds now becoming a slightly detached in third place.
Yeah, maybe he's the man. Discretion, of course. This is a 28-lap race at the end of it all. And if Chris Walker turns the Suzuki completely round into the face of Hizzy...
As opposed to half the way round, what he's been doing for most of this race.
Then you've got, of course, John Reynolds, who can pick up the pieces. So Reynolds maybe having a bit of a breather there in third place at the moment. We're at Paddock Hill Bend again. 46-second laps we're doing here. They're going to turn to cheese.
46.546, James Hayden's new lap record. The man in fifth place, I remind you. That's just an indication, Keith, isn't it, of the pace right through this field. Amongst the works bugs, Hizzy's attacking.
Down the hill again, Hizzy looking at the inside line into that braking. Oh, Hodgson and Hayden, it is rife there. They're still at it. Mackenzie floating around on bike number 7. That's the other INS Ducati, back in 6th place at the moment. And then it's another battle going on, back for 7th place. But we pick up the race leaders at Clearways corner. Stalker, wow, that's a very difficult corner. You get it wrong. Look at that rear end of that bike spinning. It's almost like dirt track. I don't know about anything else. Look at Hislop. Great power. That Yamaha looks absolutely perfect coming out of Clearways.
He's really getting it down there, isn't he?
Getting it down. That's the worry, isn't it, at the moment? But Walker looks to be a man that is just struggling a little bit when everything's out the other side of the white line there at Paddock Bend, right in the dip.
That's the widest Suzuki I've seen for a long time.
I tell you what, just goes to show you the bravery of Steve Hislop to be riding this close as he looked at the inside again. He got a good drive out of Druids down the hill. Looking back, Hodgson still in charge of Hayden, and then it's Mackenzie closing in. So the 3 times British Superbike champion. It was taken from him last year, of course, but no such problem for him. Mackenzie at the moment looking very good indeed.
Back markers hoving into sight as Stalker heads for Clearways.
Yeah,
this could mess things up.
Just to watch the way he cuts the heads off back markers.
Yes.
Here comes Walker, the Stalker. Something like he's coming in now to try and sort out number 12. That's Paul Jones riding a Travel City Direct Kawasaki, and he's out of the way, no problem at all.
And he knows Reynolds is there as well. Has John got past him? I think he has.
Oh,
only just, Vicar.
Take no prisoners then, JR.
Such a nice man.
Off track. I think I've mentioned that.
You have indeed, quite rightly.
Druid's corner, 24,500 people are being treated to a beautiful race here in the sun at Brands Hatch. Who'd have thought it?